Hi, I'm Ruiz, and this is Bowie. Welcome to our classroom. In this video, I will be introducing different ethical methodologies, which are tools we use to decide whether something is right or wrong. Check it out. It's ethics, brah. When people say cheating is bad, truth-telling is good, you assume that they went through a process of discernment to arrive at that conclusion. And that is an ethical methodology. A methodology, simply put, is a process for doing something. We have methodologies for baking, playing sports, creating art, programming computers, etc. And we have methodologies for evaluating moral decisions. An ethical methodology is a process by which we evaluate whether something is morally correct or morally incorrect. Different methodologies employ different criteria for such evaluations. In this video, I'll introduce three prominent methodologies. These three are deontology, consequentialism, and virtue ethics. Each of these methodologies have offered significant contributions to the field of ethics, but they all have some flaws. Ethicists haven't crafted a perfect methodology, which is why we study multiple. Hopefully one of these methodologies will resonate with you, and you can apply it consistently to all your ethical decisions. We're gonna begin our discussion with a scenario. Here are my two friends, Bowie and Goliath. Let's suppose that Bowie comes up to Goliath to ask, "Hey, what do you think of my cool hairdo?" And let's suppose Goliath thinks it's a bad hairdo. If he wanted to respond, how would he do it? Now, there are three potential responses Goliath could offer. The first is to say, "Bowie, you don't look that good. That means I told the truth." The second response is to say, "You look great." And that is a lie. And the third response, "Bowie, I love you no matter what, and I think you're a beautiful bird." And that's about me being loving and compassionate. Showcasing good character. Of course, there are other responses, but I'll focus on these three. Now let's evaluate these responses. First, why would it be morally acceptable to tell the truth? Because truth-telling is a good action. However, as a result, Bowie might get his feelings hurt. And that's a bad consequence. Now let's evaluate lying. Most people would say that the very action of lying is not good. But there's a good consequence. He doesn't get hurt. Finally, the third compassionate response is about the character of the person. It's not so concerned with the mechanics of the action or the consequence, but rather, does this make me a good person? Does this reflect good character? And being loving and compassionate is something that someone with good character would do. Where does this leave us? You can base your evaluation of a moral decision on the action, on the consequence, or on the character. Is the act good? Is the consequence good? Does this make me a good person? The three responses Goliath gave Bowie correspond with the three ethical methodologies I will discuss. The three methods I will be discussing are consequentialism, deontology, and virtue ethics. Deontologists believe that a decision is moral if the action itself is good. They do not care about the consequences. You make sure you carry out good actions regardless of the outcome. The opposite is true for a consequentialist. A decision is deemed to be moral if the consequences of the action are good. The action itself doesn't really matter as long as it produces a good outcome. It's all about the outcome. Virtue ethicists don't care so much about actions and consequences themselves, but rather about who I am as a person. They consider the person's past, the person's growth, and the person's circumstances as they make these decisions. It's all about making choices that will build up a good character over time. They can consider actions and consequences as they apply to the internal composition of the person. And those are the three methodologies: deontology, consequentialism, and virtue. And you can apply these at two different levels. First is the personal level. Here you primarily consider either actions, consequences, or character in your daily decision making. Second is the social level. Here you consider passing laws that promote good actions, good consequences, or good character, or that prohibit bad actions, bad consequences, and discourage bad character. Let's quickly apply the ethical methodologies to the topic of torture. Let's suppose the authorities captured a dangerous criminal who hid a bomb in a building, and the bomb's about to go off soon. Do you torture the captive terrorists for the whereabouts of the bomb? A deontologist would probably say no, because the act of torture is morally incorrect and should never be allowed. The consequentialist might opt to torture the terrorist in the hopes of finding the whereabouts of the bomb and saving a lot of people. Side note, torture has been actually discovered to be an ineffective tool to extract truth from the person being tortured. because they tend to lie just to stop the pain. I'm only pretending that it's effective as I teach about consequentialism. If the authorities were virtue ethicists, they would probably ask themselves, what kind of country are we? Are we a strong country that doesn't let terrorists mess with us, so we would torture away? Or do we value life, compassion, and respect for all human beings? Are we as a country willing to harm one person for the well-being of others? Virtue ethics prompts us to decide what kind of people we are. Different ethical methodologies might yield different decisions. The question for you is, where do you place the focus of ethics? Is it the action, the consequence, or your character? And most importantly, can you apply that consistently throughout your different decisions? Thanks for watching. The next set of videos will delve deeper into the 3 ethical methodologies I introduced. And we'll start with deontology. So if you like these videos, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much. I'll see you around.